Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Cabinet, a variety podcast released every Wednesday on Spotify and YouTube up until August 14th. Today, we are joined by the owner of PositiviT's, an apparel company that revolves around mental health, which you all know we are very open about here. Also, use code SPOON10 for 10% off. Link will be in the descriptions. So without further ado, welcome to The Cabinet, Frenchie. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? So yeah, I'm Frenchie and I'm a content creator / streamer from the UK. Been making content for 4 to 5 years now, and over the past 6 months or so, I have started a brand called PositiviT's, of which Cookie is one of our main partners. Hence why today we're having a chat about the business and whatnot. And yeah, PositiviT's, it's a new brand, new clothing design, fashion, apparel, whatever way you want to call it. And we have one main ethos, which is positivity.
If you want to just talk about like how PositiviT's kind of, I guess, came to be, like how'd you come up with it, or the name, and just kind of all like the background on how all of it happened.
In a nutshell, I've always, been involved in business, whether it's like my main job, whether it's my side ventures. Like I've started and ran businesses previously. I've always been, doing something, some sort of side hustle or main hustle. And so I've always wanted to get into the fashion and like apparel market, because I think that it's a market that's got so much to give in terms of reaching people. And it's something that, as a content creator / streamer, it's also a market that a lot of people doing the same thing that I do, streaming and whatnot, a lot of people try to get into the business, but it's a hard business to get into. So I'm trying to do it as me, the streamer, but also from the business point of view. And PositiviT's came from, it's such a weird story. So last year I had what can only be described as a massive mental breakdown. I was stressed out. I was run down. Work wasn't going great, and I just hit breaking point. When you get to a point and your mind says, nah, fuck it. That's it. Like, we're stopping. Like, yeah. You can carry on. Your body can carry on, but the brain is stopping for a bit.
Absolutely.
I reached that point. And it was more than just burnout. It was an actual physical meltdown, losing the plot. Like, I had to take 2 to 3 months away from work, from responsibilities. I genuinely just became a recluse for 3 months. I was off work, not working and everything. It was dark days, and I started doing CBT, talking therapy, with a charity here in the UK who offer that service as part of our National Health Service, but they're a separate charity per se. And in one of the sessions, Vicky, the woman, just made a comment about, Matt, you are very much a thrive off of an idea person. So if you're having like a really positive idea, you will thrive off of that. And then I was like, okay, that's actually a really good thought. And she's like, look, if you had like a business project to start, and she was like, I don't know, go and take your ideas about trying to be happy that you're telling me and go and put them on a freaking t-shirt. And I was like, actually, that's an amazing idea.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it came from a conversation with her, and it's really, really weird because we actually know each other like quite well now through our sessions and whatnot. And we just got talking, and she just threw it out there as a just chuck it on a t-shirt, and I was like, yeah. And she carried on talking, but in my mind, my head like went from 0 to like 265,000 miles an hour on the spot, with ideas of designs and how I could reach other people and how I could actually make a difference.
Yeah.
How I could use this amazing idea implement it and actually try and help other people with it, it was kind of like it wasn't just two birds, one stone. It was like literally a dozen birds with half a stone. Like it was just such a random comment that she made, which is then not even snowballed into an idea. It just literally just prompted a massive explosion of ideas in my head. And that is essentially where PositiviT's came from, just from a therapy session and a throwaway joke comment from the therapist about you should put all of your positive thoughts on a t-shirt, to actually now where we are, 4 months down the line, a new business started, and starting to actually really get some good traction in terms of the message we're trying to achieve, and and the message we're trying to get out to people in terms of what we do. And that is genuinely where PositiviT's came from. I would like to take all of the credits, but I can't actually shout out NHS. The NHS came up with the idea, and it took a lot of reining in to actually make a lot of the thoughts feasible. I know you do your stuff on the side and whatnot, but when you start a business, you have to do things in the right way. And to be honest, PositiviT's were at that stage where we're starting slowly, but when trying to not run. We have so many ideas of things we want to do, but we're just making sure that we're not doing everything at the same time.
Absolutely.
And it's really hard because I've got so many ideas about PositiviT's, the things I want to do, and places I want to go with it. But it's like I don't want to implement everything in one go, because I want to make sure that we're doing everything correctly. And there's been growing pains, there's been ups and downs so far. There's been a mix of successes and not so positive things that have happened for the business and for the brand. But we are genuinely in such an interesting place, because as well, the way things are running, it's being run as a kind of like there's no expectations from myself on myself, so it's something that I can just go out, try an idea. If it doesn't work, all right, scrap that, let's wipe the board clean and start again. Because I'm doing things in a way which allow me to be quite flexible with myself. And I think that's another key thing that people, being flexible with yourself. You have to always constantly make sure that you're not running before you walk, is the perfect analogy. I'm trying to come up with a better way of saying it, but running before you walk, and we're at the 4-5 month mark right now, and we're in the process of kickstarting phase 2, 3, and 4 of the idea of the growth plans, and so far so good.
That is such an amazing story, honestly, too, because I didn't know all of it, so hearing about how it came to be is honestly so amazing. The fact that it was a therapist that just threw out the idea just to say it to you is absolutely amazing, though, and I love that so much. I feel like that kind of answers part of the next, I guess, question of the theme of it, of positivity. Obviously, I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory that it is around positive vibes, and it's with the T, PositiviT's. I think it's pretty, but
it's self-explanatory, and to be honest with you, it's TS because TWS was used up by a I can't remember exactly who it was, but it was something from South Africa, and it was a Christian group, some sort of Christian group from South Africa with 6 followers on Twitter. And I'm thinking, damn, I really want that username. And I messaged them and I was like, is there any way that I can have that username? and they've not even responded to the message, you know. So I went with PositiviT's because, you know, it's the second closest one to what I wanted to actually do. And obviously we have a logo and the brand, and we built the branding around that username there. Originally it was going to be PositiviT's, but it wasn't available. And, you know, I created the Twitter was the first thing I created, and because I couldn't get that other username, you know, I was like, damn, let's change it up to the PositiviT's. But the name itself, yeah, it's very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's from the idea of put those positive messages on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I love that.
And the theme itself, you know, like we've got several designs which have come out, and you know, obviously you've seen them.
Oh, I love the new one, the flowers. I just have to throw that out there. That is definitely one of my favorites for sure. It's so nice.
Yeah. So I have to be really careful because, you know, I get if I create a design on the website, I can actually like get samples, so I get them at cost. But the problem is I still have to pay for them, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, we're a business, you know, we are a business, and so we make a bit of profit on every sale. But then obviously we'll come to it in a second. There's lots and lots of clarity about, you know, about the financial side of things. I have no problem being very open with what we do with our revenue, you know. I'm not going to give people figures because, do you know what?
Yeah.
Like, go back and listen to the 10 Crack Commandments song by Biggie, and like never let them know how much dough you hold, you know. And because that's my business. But I have no problem explaining to people what we do with our revenue. And so for every sale we have a profit, so we have our gross profit, but then we pay like the discount if it's used for a partner discount code that comes off our profits. Then we have the commissions which come off the profits, and then what's left, 50% of all profits, so of the rest, what comes in will be donated to charity. And again, for all clarity, the original plan was to do it on a monthly basis, but because the business is not, you know, it's not going to start overnight. We're not going to start selling 1,000 t-shirts a month on month 6. We're probably going to, you know, our numbers are relatively low. When I say to people on the you know, in our group chats, I'm like, oh, the numbers have been really good. That's in terms of like traffic of people visiting the website, because we're so young into the business that for me the success is judged on traffic to the website. I'm not concerned about sales at this point, because to get sales you have to create a brand. The brand has to be recognized, and every single person that goes to the website in terms of like traffic, that becomes a person who knows the brand, and that is what we are trying to achieve in our first 12 months. So this is why I put a message in the group chat the other day for the partners. It's like, look, guys, I don't care about sales. We just need to get the brand out there. This is why, you know, we're trying to get the hype high, and we're trying to get all the social media right. You know, it's because we want to drive traffic to the website, but it's not around sales. It's more around, you know, just getting the brand known. But going back to what I was saying, so for me, I can get samples at cost. The problem is I have to be careful because I want every single one. But if I ordered every single design of t-shirt and hoodie, like, the room would be full up of them, and I'd never wear all of them. And then my missus was complaining earlier about how much laundry we get through in a week. Like, imagine if I start bringing home an additional 12, 15 hoodies, wear them once, throw them in the laundry, or in my case, leave them on the floor outside the office for her to pick up, because I am not domesticated, you know, like... I'm joking, ladies. I do all my own laundry.
Just gotta put that out there.
I'm just putting that out there. She volunteers. I actually do more of the laundry than she does. But like, yeah, the flower design is by far my favorite.
I love it.
One of my favorites to date. I actually have got I'm working on a special edition. It's gonna be like a one-off, and only certain people will be allowed to have it. So that one's coming, and it's gonna be a similar vibe to it, a similar style. but it's going to be, you know, it's going to be reserved for something that we're working on in the future. So
Oh, I
yeah,
love
I'm
that.
excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I honestly like hearing you talk about how last year was such a hard time for you, and that's kind of where it came from. I just love that so much because hearing you talk about it, I went through the exact same thing last year, where it was definitely like that rock bottom kind of feeling point where I thought I have felt that before, but last year it was like, oh, this is what it's like to, like, you know, kind of be down here. And hearing that you took something like that and then brought something like this out of it is amazing, because even though, you know, it's just starting out and right now it's just getting that sort of traction and everything, you've done it, you know, you're doing things, and like that's such a huge thing, especially when you're at that point of like not being able to do stuff, to pick something up like this, because I mean it's a pretty big thing to have run your own company. I mean, the work for it is insane. So the fact that you're able to do that after all of that, and I mean, and the brand is about positivity and stuff, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think one of the hardest things about, you know, doing something like this is actually that image of positivity. You kind of, you bound yourself to a certain way of being, you know, and you have to ensure that everything you do ties into that positive vibe and whatnot. Because trust me, there is days where the last thing I want to do is be positive. You know,
absolutely.
There's days I just want to tell people to, you know, fuck off and just like, look, just get out of my face. But you can't, because, you know, you are in a position where you have that responsibility to represent a brand and to maintain, like, you can't be positive every single minute of the day. There's going to be times where you're not as positive as others, but when you are representing a brand and image and you have, you know, like people and partners, like, it's very important to ensure that there's a constant image which is surrounding the brand. And it's hard work. And this is one thing that I spend my time doing is, you know, like on social media, constantly biting my tongue, because it's just so tempting to comment on something or to call someone out on something, but then you're going against that whole image of positivity and what you're about, you know. And it's really hard. It's and people mistake that for, you know, being fake or, you know, two-faced.
Yeah, that's
when
true.
Actually it's really not. It's like you cannot run at 100% all the time. You need to either let off steam, or you need to, you know, drop your guard, and you need to just like chill now and again. Because if you are constantly that Mr. Positivity, it becomes that fake positivity. Because if you're constantly, you know, constantly happy all the time, I'm sorry, I will call you out, because that is fake positivity.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible to be positive and happy every single minute of your life. It's just not. But you do have to be careful running the business that you know, the image that you put out, you know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Matches the ethos. Like, people know that you're going to have shit days. People know you're going to have a day where you're not yourself, where you're off, and, you know, but you still have to try and maintain an image of positivity. And this is why, like, for me personally, I have to constantly remind myself, no, Matt, do not call that person out for their bullshit. Do not respond to that tweet. Do not get involved in that Twitter drama. You know, it's actually really challenging. And that is one of the biggest challenges as a content creator as well. Because a lot of the time, the problem I find with social media, and I know we're probably going to go into a bit of a different topic on that, and this is why I probably won't say too much on it, but, you know, as a content creator, it's so easy to have an opinion which differs to somebody else's opinion, whether it be political, religious, you know, whatever the thought is. It's very easy to have a different thought and a different, way of seeing things than other people. But it's so dangerous. It's such a dangerous place, the social media, when it comes to stuff like that, because you say the wrong thing to the wrong person once, and that's it, you're cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't believe in cancel culture. Like, I think everyone is entitled. You have freedom of speech, you have all of that, etc., etc. My ethos is, don't be an asshole. Just respect people. Let people do what they want. If it doesn't impact you, why are you bothered? And that's the way I see things. But you have to be so careful what you do on social media, and this is why one of the most critical things as a new brand starting out is making sure that you don't fall into the trap of becoming that, the edgy social media people. You have to be very careful what you do. And I think me being the way I am, which is in myself quite outspoken, edgy, close to the mark, I will laugh at, dark humor. I'll laugh at inappropriate jokes now and again. That's the way I am. I'm not going to apologize, because you know what? It's just a joke. But when it comes to the business, one of the pitfalls as a new business is you have to be careful. You cannot be seen to be like, you getting involved with Twitter beef. You can't be calling people out. You cannot be posting things which would offend either side of the fence. You have to be so neutral, but at the same time you have to hit the mark with the message. And that is by far one of the hardest challenges, not just for an online business, for any business. And I'd like to think I have a lot of experience. I'm 20. I'm in my 21st year of sales and running businesses. So I've kind of been around the block and done it before, but it's very much, like, it's a constant change in like environments, especially when you Twitter, like social media, especially the streamer social media. It's a minefield. It's probably the best way to put it. Like, and I'm sure you obviously had experience of, from yourself as a content creator, toxic environments on social media, and being careful to not get dragged into something that you don't want to be dragged into.
Yes,
I'm sure you've come across it yourself, and it's hard. It's hard because you know what, especially because I have both my personal Twitter and the business one on the same app on my phone. And it's like, I find myself like trying to like respond to somebody on my personal, and it's like, oh shit, that's the business like Twitter.
Oh, God.
Let's delete that response and then switch accounts to reply on the right account.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You have to be so careful, like, because do you know what? I'm a firm believer in freedom of speech. Joke about what you want. The truth is, you can joke about whatever you want. It's whether people will get offended or not, but people, that's the thing. Cancel culture is, especially in the streamer world. Like, I've seen today on Twitter 4 separate people get called out for things which are, 3 rightly so should have been called out, but one person was getting called out because they copied an emote. So it's a designer copied another designer's emotes, and it's like the guy was. They were acting like he was the person who kidnapped Madeleine McCann. He was getting absolutely torn to shreds for It was getting really silly. And I was about to comment saying, guys, look, just ease up a little bit. Like, there's no, like, this guy had got death threats from other streamers because he copied an emote.
What?
It was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Yeah, and there's me like, fuck me, guys. Like, PositiviT's, come on, like, like it would ruin his reputation. But there's no need to take it too far. Anyway, that's the pitfalls of the business, especially in online businesses, dealing with the online world. Like, all it takes is the wrong word to be used, and yeah, like, honestly, one of my scariest moments starting this business was when we launched our Pride range, because I actually physically reached out to 7 or 8 different content creators from the LGBTQ communities, to ask them their feedback in terms of me using their symbols, i.e. the flag or whatnot, on some of the designs, because I have no experience when it comes to all of that, like to LGBTQ communities and what is acceptable or not acceptable to use as a business. And honestly, the day we went live, we were like, have we made a mistake here? Have we tried to take on too much from a message point of view here? Should we have maybe not had made this range? And to be fair, the reception of the range was actually really positive, because, so like I said, 50% of all profits are going to charity. For the main ranges at the moment for this year, we're focusing on supporting Mind UK, which is a mental health charity here in the UK, close to my heart for obvious reasons. But for the Pride collections, we are going to be giving the share of the profits for charity is going to be split between the Trevor Project in the States and Mind Out LGBTQ in the UK. So it's 2 other charities that we'll be supporting. But yeah, that was really, really a big, massive moment for me. Like, should we have maybe not done this?
Even with streaming in general, keeping up that same thing, just watching what you say and do. And I know there's so many people that there's a lot of people online that don't care what they say and do, and it's like, you know what, like, you do you. But a lot of times for me, which is why I think originally when seeing PositiviT's, I was like, oh, I like this, because my whole thing on social media, because of how rough last year was, I was very open about it, and I had so many people who would say, like, I understand, I get that, I'm so glad, like, you get that too. And that kind of allowed me to then open up a bit more about it and be like, okay, maybe this is something that I can talk about, and maybe this is something that, like, will make people almost feel like somewhat comforting in a way, because I can understand that as much as you don't want people to go through the same stuff, it is comforting sometimes to hear that other people go through similar things. And that's kind of why I've been so open on Twitter. And when I saw you guys, I was like, oh, this is perfect. And it's something that I always talk about, and wanting to have these positive, happier vibes is something that I strive for a lot. It's something I've never really had, so I want so bad. And I just like that it's not only, like, the meaning of PositiviT's is not only just be positive. It's okay that you're not okay, which is one thing that I remember when we were talking. I just kind of mentioned it, and you were like, oh, that actually is one of our designs. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, because that's all I say all the time, is that it's okay to not be okay. And it's what it's really something that drew me in, because it's more of an understanding that, like, you are who you are, you've gone through what you've gone through, but it's, at the same time, there's a way for you to be happy. And that's just why I really do love the brand, because of that, because it expresses that it's okay to not be okay.
It's the thing is, like, as a content creator and as a streamer, your life itself, it tends to be exposed a lot more than the average Joe, the average person who, isn't in an online environment like you and I are. And I think there's a lot more of a stigma around people suffering with mental health when they are in the public eye. You're kind of, like, expected to be strong enough to have to be able to go through anything. There's that expectation that as a content creator, you are a mental god and you have no problems and you are not you are tough mentally and you can get through anything. But the sad reality is that a lot of people who are in the content creation world are actually the polar opposite. They are going through a lot of bad stuff, and they are using content creation and streaming and creating YouTube videos as a way to actually physically heal themselves and to get through it. And I think one way we would like to contribute more to that environment is to be able to break down that stigma that it's okay to not be okay, like you said, because there's so much expectation as a streamer, for example, to be that happy, smiley, entertaining, the hype person, constantly high vibes and everything. You have that constant expectation to be that person, when in reality there's days you just want to curl up in the corner of your bed and just like watch TV and do nothing, and it's horrible to say, but there's so many people in this environment, in the streaming industry, who probably shouldn't be, probably should not actually be doing the streaming or the creating. They should be taking time for themselves. But
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people out there who just soldier on, push through it, when in reality a lot of people should just be taking a step back and actually trying to take a bit of them time to try and heal themselves, and this is why, from my perspective, I took time away from streaming and creating content and whatnot, because I recognized that if I carried on putting myself in a position having to have that fake persona, it's horrible to say, but I was on a spiral path. And I think a lot of people in the streaming and content creation world don't recognize the dangers of ignoring a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
And that's another thing which is really scary. That's saying that these people in the content creation world who are not themselves 100% mentally, who are struggling, and you see it on Twitter every day, you see people post tweets about, I'm feeling this, I have that. And part of me is like, either they are the most mentally strong person I have ever met, or they are hiding their head in the sand for something. And I think there's a massive stigma around mental health in the streaming world. And I don't think that enough people pay attention to the danger signs.
Yeah.
And that is a scary fact. That is a real scary fact. We're not, and PositiviT's, we're not here to be a therapist. We're not here to have sessions with you guys to ask you, how are you doing every day? That's not what we're here for. But, we want people to be aware that it's okay to have down days where you're not yourself, where you don't want to do anything, and it's okay to not stream every day. People, do you know what? If you don't stream every day and people leave your stream and don't come back and watch you again, do you really want them in your community? That's the question, ultimately. The real ones, the real supporters who support you for you as a person, they'll wait. They won't go anywhere. And I just think that the more that people can do to help with that aspect of things, I think there's a lot more that can be done in the community, and we want to do our part. And whether that's through our charity donations, which we're going to make into a Christmas thing for the charities. So you have seen some messages which went through the group chat the other day.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, I wasn't having the most positive day, and I kind of took a bit personally, because it was worded in a way to say, oh no, I wasn't accusing you of anything, but the way it was brought up kind of was implying that there was a risk that I may be considering it, and the last thing that is on my mind is defrauding a charity, 100%. The next person who accuses me of that is going to get a mouthful, because the last thing I am planning to do is to not follow through on my promise to deliver to charities. I'm not saying it's going to be thousands of pounds. All right, we're a small business, we're a young business, and we are operating in a low margin, very competitive market. Fashion, design, apparel, t-shirts and hoodies. It's such a competitive market. There's so many people out there that can have access to the same production methods, the same delivery methods that we have. So it's a very competitive market, but we are doing whatever we can to try and, help charities, support charities. Every little helps. So it's not going to be massive, but also on top of whatever the business donates, I am committing personal money to the pot at the end of the year. Don't know how much it's going to be. Got a wedding, after the wedding, she's going to want to start thinking about kids. She's going to want to start thinking about, buying a new house, etc., etc. So, it might not be thousands of pounds from my own pocket, but I have pledged a certain amount as a minimum to charity, because I am so keen that is my primary goal is to hit the charities mark, to hit a certain goal for the charities. And if it means that as a business we put more of the profit into charities, that's fine. We will do that. So I can say this now. We are looking to do something for breast cancer, which I believe is June Breast Cancer Month. I need to double check my sources on that. But we will be doing something for that, and again, whatever we can do to support a charity, we will do. If any of our partners have charities that they support, we'll do what we can to support them. Yeah, we're taking one step at a time. We're making sure that we do it right, and we're making sure that we do it right by not just the business and the public, but also the partners. Partners are a massive part of what we do. Obviously, self, included. And again, we have lots and lots of stuff happening over the next few months for the partners, which in itself is going to be a massive step forward for the business. It's really exciting times, and we're so glad to have the partners that we have at the moment, because the beauty of it, when we selected the partners, I basically had free reign to bring in people that I wanted. I wasn't under any restrictions in terms of the size of the partner, no restrictions in terms of their number of followers or number of viewers, or the platform they were on. I was just completely free to do what the hell I wanted to do. And that's a lovely position when when you run your own business, to do what you want. And yeah, we've got some more people which will be joining the partner program soon. You heard it here first. And these people are going to be varied in terms of the platforms they're on, in terms of the content they create, in terms of their style of creating content. So I'm not going to say too much. We're gonna be looking at more than just your stereotypical streamer content creator. So we are looking to hit different demographics through different partners as well, which is going to be interesting. We do have an affiliate program coming where people can sign up and become an affiliate to help spread the word. But again, we don't want to just sign people up and, be a code pusher.
Yeah.
And we had a list of people handpicked to become affiliates, but we weren't quite ready to actually bring that to the market because we didn't have enough to give them to make it not just a code pushing exercise, if that makes sense. This is why we've held back on bringing the affiliates on. There's so many predatory businesses in this market, and then so many creators, often more novice or smaller content creators are getting ripped off by these businesses on a daily basis through, oh yeah, if you promote this code, you'll get all that commission. But if you're promoting a t-shirt at $25 or whatever our prices are, I can't remember, whatever commission you're going to get on that, it's not a lot of money, and for the amount of work that you're expected to do to get a tiny bit of commission, we don't feel that we can add value to the creators. So this is why we want to wait and hold off on the affiliate program until we are in a position to actually give them more than just a code. You partners are kind of like been chosen as the guinea pigs for the partnership / affiliate program, because we needed some partners to help with the growth. And obviously you guys being there from the start, you will be asked to take part in different initiatives where we're going to try things like, different, whether it's commission schemes or whether it's sales competitions or whether it's, creating a piece of content for the brands and stuff like that. Now, you guys are there from the start, so you will have to help us with those things. But then you guys are also helping mold the partner program for the future of the brand. So that's why you guys are more than just a code to us. And I think a lot of companies in the scene are very quick to, flood the market with their codes through affiliate and partner programs, when in reality, that will literally just kill your whole program.
Yeah.
Because what's the value of a discount code if everyone has one?
Exactly, yeah.
If you think about it, like a lot of people in the content creation world who stream, the majority are, 80% of their community is other streamers. So if that 80% already have their own code, do you think they're going to use a particular creator's code, or are they going to use their own?
Yeah.
To get discount?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the organic 20% of non-creators, that then creates, they still have a market for their code, but you see how much smaller it becomes. And now multiply that by, 100 codes. Look how much you're diluting that market down. If you flood the market with codes, the codes lose their value, basically. So this is why we've held off on the affiliate program for now, and we will be building on the existing partner program over the next coming 3 to 4 months, probably. Basically, probably up until my wedding in August. That's when we will probably, start the next phases of partner and affiliate programs at that point. But we're not in this to rush. We're not. Like I could easily drop the plans we have for the partner and affiliate programs tomorrow. They are written up ready. But if the business isn't ready to drop those plans, what's the point? People don't see desperation as a positive trait in business. Now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've been doing. I started my first sales job when I was 17, 22 years ago, and I've learned a lot of tricks of the trade in terms of, sales itself, but also running business. I've got a degree in business management, and I studied business psychology, business management, and sales management. And ultimately, from that, I've actually always found myself doing jobs where, I've succeeded. I have never had a sales job where I have failed to either hit targets, get promotions, get paid, get the bonuses. I've always, done well. And it's what has allowed me to start PositiviT's, because of A, the experience, but B, having the formula to know what will work and won't work, and that is something that I will always recommend to anyone starting anything. The first thing to do is just research. Research the market, your audience, the people. What are you going to supply them? The product, Now, bear in mind that fashion, clothing, etc. For me, this is very new. Like, so, I'm touch wood. We're seeing good traffic to the website. Hopefully, moving forward with the growth plans that we have, we will start converting that into sales. You partners will start getting paid your commissions. You'll start earning commissions. And from there on, we'll just grow and grow and grow. But this is a new experience for me in this, ultra competitive market of clothing and fashion. But the principles are the same, whether it's selling a book, a t-shirt, a car, a house. The principles are the same. Okay. I know between the UK, EU, US, a lot of things are different, but ultimately you're selling to people, and people buy from people. That's one of the first things they teach you in business school.
Yeah.
That is the big question. How do you as a streamer tell people that they need to watch your video? That is the key consideration that you have to take into consideration when doing anything. What you are doing, your content, your product, what is making the person viewing it or buying it believe that they can't go without it? Now it's such a vague statement. Then you narrow down into it. Oh, okay, content. Well, is it exclusive? Is it new? Is it pertinent? Is it relevant to them? Is it accurate? All of those things. In terms of a hoodie from PositiviT's, is it a message that appeals to them? Is it a product that they could see themselves wearing in public? Is it a hoodie that they could see themselves chilling at home in? Is it a message on the hoodie that they believe other people should see? It's the same principle, whether it's a video or a hoodie. And I think, although it's new to me, if I just apply the same formula of what I've done for the past 20 odd years, not just set in sales, and I have run other businesses. I've had successful businesses. I've had businesses that I've built up from nothing, sold on. I've had ideas that I've sold. I've done okay when it comes to creating ideas and businesses. The only reason that I'm doing this one now is because I'm in a position where I'm able to financially and life-wise. I have a fiance, soon wife to be, who supports me and everything I do. If I say to her, like this evening we were meant to have a film night, but actually I need to game and stream tonight, for example. She's like, yeah, cool, whatever. She's like the most laid back and relaxed person when it comes to that, and ultra supportive.
That's awesome.
If I say, if I say, do you know what, I need to do this for the business, so you're not going to see me all evening. She gets it. She understands it. She knows why I'm doing it. She knows that deep down I'm doing this because it helps me with my mental health. More product types are going to be coming. That's awesome. Can't wait for that one. And the next step is just continue to do what we can for charities. And so there's going to be several charity events in the pipeline, and we're going to be starting soon with a charity stream. So we want to do a 24-hour charity stream where what we'll probably do is we'll have to agree a platform that every person streams on, i.e. Kick, for example. And then we each do a 2 or 3 hour slot. Like you do a 3-hour stream, for example, then you raid the next person on the schedule. And then they raid the next person on the schedule. It might not be streamed at your normal times, but we'll fill the slots, and make sure that we have a whole 24 to 36 hours filled up. And we'll bring on other people as well who are, maybe not ambassadors or partners, just some other people who want to help out. And so that's one of the first events we're going to be doing. But again, it's just ideas at the moment, and we're going to be working with our ambassadors to, physically come up with plans for those events, because that, again, it's something that we want you as ambassadors to help us run. Where, I spoke about the difference between a partner and affiliate.
Yeah.
Coming up with ideas for charity events, but not just giving us the idea, actually physically following through and helping us set it up and run it. And that's where we as a business will support you with your efforts. But, we would like you guys to take on the responsibilities with us to help run these charity events, and I think coming from the ambassadors, it will make them so successful, if that makes sense, because you guys are the content creators who represent us. So what works in terms of charity events. So we want to call on your experience to help run those. New products, new branding, new designs are coming. Probably there's not going to be any new branding or new designs for the next few months. We might see those before or after the wedding. Things are going to be quite hectic time-wise for me at the moment. So I don't know how much time I have to do drawing when I'm meant to be doing table plans and wedding favors and centerpieces. But I'm going to try my best to get some out for the summer. So we shall see. But yeah, that's where the company's going. That's where the business is going. We just want to, build a solid foundation so that the efforts that we're trying to make for charity actually don't go unnoticed. Because it's all very well, here's $50 that we raised. Great, brilliant. But actually, here's a few thousand that we raised. Does that not sound a lot better,
Yeah. But on that note, we are going to have to wrap it up. I appreciate you talking about the company so much, and I hope everybody, if you guys don't know, you can check. It'll be in the description on Spotify and YouTube, and you can also go and check my Twitter as well if you follow me on Twitter. But definitely go check out PositiviT's, and now you know a bit of the background about it as well. And again, Frenchie, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much.
No, thanks for having us. And obviously, we're always keen to support our partners in their content. And as soon as you mentioned doing the I love doing podcasts. Just sitting around with people you enjoy being with and chatting shit is, for me, is like the perfect content. I wish I could just do podcasts the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I love talking about what I do, and it's like everyone does. And I think, doing podcasts is such a fun way to, get to know people. And yeah, thanks for letting me talk about PositiviT's. Guys, go and check out Cookie's profile. She has got all of her links on there for PositiviT's, and she has got her discount code. So make sure to go and use that.
Of course, and thank you again. And on that note, for everybody who is listening, if you made it to the end, I appreciate you so much for being here. And as always, I will see you guys next week.